Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefas has reconstructed and adjusted the number of ministries in Taraba State to ensure efficiency and transparency. He has also inaugurated his team of commissioners he described as technocrats. The governor's team of 22 commissioners is dominated by youths. Only 7 of the members were found to be close to the age of 50 years, even as the team also has 7 women. The governor, during the inauguration, stated that all the commissioners before their appointment have shown exceptional skills in their professional fields and have also proven their leadership abilities, and therefore expressed confidence that the commissioners will bring their unique insight to the table and contribute to the growth of the state. During his swearing-in, Governor Kefas stated his commitment to ensuring an equitable environment for the growth of Taraba State. Arise correspondent Punarima Benjamin reports.
Supporters and well-wishers across Nigeria are here to celebrate the inauguration of the newly elected Taraba State Governor, Agbu Kefas, a former military lieutenant colonel, now democratically elected governor. Agbu won the election against his close counterpart, Emmanuel Bacha of the APC. His victory has now translated into reality as he takes his oath of office for a fresh start from his predecessor, Darius Ishaku, who has governed the state for the past 8 years, but lost his senatorial election to join his colleagues in the Senate. Now, Agbu Kefas is promising to revamp the state by focusing on youth entrepreneurship and ensure an inclusive government where everyone given opportunities to strive.
My passion for Taraba is driven by a deep commitment to social justice, welfare, and equity. My administration will focus on addressing unemployment challenges.
Supporters are hoping that the new administration will keep to its promises.
Joining us now on this show to discuss his plans for Taraba people and how he intends to actualize those plans and the biting economic downturns is Governor Agbu Kefas of Taraba State. Governor, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Mr. Ruben.
Well, Governor, let's start with the list of commissioners. We've been told that your cabinet is made up largely of technocrats and that most of your appointees are below the age of 50 and that you've had to reduce the number of ministries to rationalize them to reduce cost. Could you take us through what your expectations are and what your priorities are that governed the composition of that cabinet that we're told also includes 7 women?
Thank you very much. During my campaign, I made a lot of promises, and I needed the required workforce that is efficient, vibrant, knowledgeable, and have all the energy and the zeal to be able to assist to accomplish those promises. And when you look at the society, the strength of a nation lies with the youth. So I have to go to that category of people in the state to be able to select them carefully to see how I can infuse them into the system and to understand my vision for a new Taraba. That is what led me to that. And so far we have started on the good platform to be able to see how we can achieve my dream for Taraba.
All right, thank you, Governor. Now, you held a retreat for the recently inducted commissioners. Why is the retreat of Taraba State commissioners necessary?
In the first place, these are people that have not held any political appointment before. They are new in this environment of politics or governance. So for you to start on the good footing, you need to give them that orientation, induction and retreat, making them to understand where the terrain in which they are going to deliver the dividends or the expectation of the people of Taraba State. And also we needed that collaborative environment where the executive arms, the judiciary and the legislature were able to work as a team to be able to give the people the best. So because of that, such a program is very necessary to be able to put us together to work in harmony, to work as a team, to be able to meet up with the expectations. So all we need is to meet up with what we promised the people.
Okay, that's very good. And also, congratulations to you as you assume the reins of office. Because this is the first time we're talking to you. Wish you the very best in your administration.
Thank you.
But there are a lot of problems and challenges in Taraba State.
Thank you very much.
You've got one of the poorest states in the country. Unemployment rate quite very high. Also, access to hygiene and sanitary products very high. Education outcomes very low. It's a litany of challenges, and you say you also want to pay for a free education program. I mean, how are you going to solve all of these problems in a state that is touted to be one of the poorest states in the country?
Thank you very much. Everybody has problems. They have personal problems, family problems, and collective state problems. So the problems have been outlined. So what next? It's solution. So all we need is solution. And by putting this team together, putting the appropriate ministries in place and people to head the ministry, so we'll now start looking at how we can solve the problem. There is no problem in this world that is not solvable. It depends on who is solving the problem and how you are approaching it. And you know, Taraba is inclusive in this global world. So everybody is focused on that. Everybody knows what is happening everywhere. And there are people that are also willing to help. Help in terms of advice, help in terms of resources, help in terms of technical assistance and so on. So as we start our own best, doing the right thing, people will key in to assist. And the Taraba people are also willing. They understand the problem. All they need is that moral support so that we can all solve the problem together. So our problem can be solved by us. We have all the resources, all the necessary things to be able to address some of these things. It's how to harness them. And that's why we are starting on this foot.
Okay, two other issues, Governor. One, the MBS, Bureau of Statistics, was reporting that in June, Taraba has the highest pump price of fuel at about 531 naira per liter, higher than other states comparatively. But since then, it has even gone up. There's also the lamentation by the people about food crisis, food shortage in Taraba State. Now, how do you intend to address all of this? And has your government already announced palliatives, as some state governors have done after collecting that heavy allocation at the end of June from the FARC?
Thank you very much. I have a very realistic and effective palliative plan for the people of Taraba, which I'm going to roll out by next week when we get back to the state. For the hike in price and so on, all these are going to be moderated. I'm going to call all the marketers together. We're going to have a meeting to discuss, to tell them the danger and also to make them to understand that we can't continue to inflict injuries on ourselves. In as much as we need money, we shouldn't be too desperate to the extent that will cause more problems. So we're going to discuss that and come to understanding on how we can make life easy for all of us. We can't be oppressing ourselves. For food crisis, Well, I don't. We are planning to see how we can feed other states and nations where they have food crisis. So we are putting our house in order.
Okay, we'll take a short break. We seem to have lost audio connection with Governor Kefas of Taraba State. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Well, we now have been able to establish a connection with Dr. Agbu Kefas, Taraba State Governor. Thank you very much, Governor, for staying with us. And our apologies for that technical glitch, to use a famous phrase. But before the disconnection, we were talking about the food crisis in Taraba State. Farmers can't go to the farms. There is a looming crisis. What is your administration doing about it?
Well, thank you. The food crisis is not only in Taraba, it's all over the nation. Since the problem has been identified, so we will do everything possible to see that we have enough food for the people by going into serious production. That's what I said about my palliative plan. So by the time I meet with critical stakeholders in agriculture and the rest, we'll be able to work out all the modalities to see that we don't only address the problem in Taraba, but nationwide. So we are working on that, and we'll see that we achieve that very objective, because once you are able to identify a problem, the problem is already half solved.
Right, Governor Kefas, Taraba State is endowed with rich and diverse solid minerals. And there has been quite an attention on that with regards to diversifying not just your state's revenue, but also the nation's revenue. What are you going to do to maximize and tap into the potential of the solid minerals in your state?
Thank you very much. Already we have started putting things in order, because before now, I think the way and manner in which they go about the mining activities in Taraba was very injurious to the environment, and also insecurity breeding. So what I've done to identify the areas where those activities are taking place, and to suspend all mining activities in Taraba, so that we'll be able to sanitize that very sector, sensitize the people, and then put some instrument in place to see how we can attract investors that are genuine and ready to impact on our state positively. So all these measures are being taken towards harnessing that particular sector. So with time, I think the best from that sector will be realized for the benefit of Taraba people.
Let's talk about silver mining and talk about the scourge of illegal miners. Currently, you set up, sort of like a task force to check illegal miners, but some people claim that we had Memreco already on ground, to check illegal miners. How are you going to be able to harmonize so that we don't chase the true miners away from that sector?
Most of the miners that claim they have the license, some of them are unable to provide a license. Some, they come with license. You don't see the process of engaging the community to the level of acquiring the license. So there are so many defaults here and there. So we have told them, we've addressed some of them, that we are not driving you from Taraba. We need your presence, but we want credible and very serious business people to engage. And then we'll be able to, while we are doing that, we should be able to address influx of unwanted persons, because people can hide under other guys to come into the state and perpetrate all kinds of evil. So we want to do a kind of a holistic arrangement where we'll be watching the people coming in for mining activities. We have to vet them. We have to ensure that they are coming purely for mining, not to cause a problem on the people, because it is our responsibility to secure our people and to keep them safe. So we are doing all this for things to be done in a very proper way. So they should just exercise some patience. If they are genuine miners, very soon we'll open our doors and call them to come and do business with us.
Well, Governor, community conflict is a major problem in Taraba State, particularly between thieves and junkuns in Wukari, in Takum, in Idi, and other parts of the state. Now, as a former soldier, what are your security strategies to promote peace, to keep Taraba safe, and to make sure that this communal conflicts, banditry added to it, insurgency added to it, will become a thing of the past in Taraba State, so that farmers can go to the farm and the people can go about their normal businesses?
Well, it is only when there is conflict that is when the military comes in, or the security agency. But for now, what we are putting on the table as a government is justice. When there is justice, some of this issue will be addressed very, very easily. I've been involved in the issue which you mentioned about the Jukun and the thief. Well, you won't hear Jukun and thief people fighting, because right from when Governor Sunsunwa was the governor of Benue State, I was the chairman, governing board of NIMASA. We met and we worked out a modality within ourselves, and we stopped that problem, including the former Attorney General of the Federation, Samuel Andoka. So we met and we took a decision that such things should not happen, and we were able to address the issue. I don't think there will be any crisis between the Jukun and the thief anymore, because there is no need, it's baseless. All we are trying to do to look at what are the issues. Then we'll start addressing them, and we are discussing. And I'm sure these communal clashes here and there will be a thing of the past. So
okay,
we're taking them.
Governor, if you say there's no conflict between thieves and junkuns, so who are the people killing farmers, attacking them on the farmlands? Is it another group that you are aware of?
You cannot rule out criminal elements, just like you are talking about food crisis. Some people can go into somebody's farm to go and steal the product, and from that place, crisis can start. But to say Jukun, thief are fighting, there's no basis, because I'm a Jukun man. There's no any crisis right now to warrant any fight. So I don't think such thing will come up again. We put some machineries, some certain measures in place that when such issues are coming up, we nip them at the board. So we've worked out all methods to reduce all those crises in other places too. So we are on top of that issues. So I believe that gradually, when people are engaged, people are not idle, people are doing something, they have things doing, engaging in farm, engaging in other activities, wealth is being created, opportunity given to people. All these things will just go down naturally. So that is what we are trying to put in place.
All right. Governor Kefas, I'd like to still ask you a question around your solid mineral deposits. So a number of people might not be aware, but you sit on rich, and like as I mentioned earlier on diverse here, there's gold in Taraba State, there's zinc in Taraba State, there's sapphire, diamond in Taraba State. And one of the questions that people have asked, or perhaps the challenge, is that we can't even ascertain the quality, the quantity of these about 200 mineral deposits in Taraba, what are your plans perhaps in terms of data? Because if you're going to attract foreign investment and have people come in and really tap into that potential, there has to be a measure of understanding what we really have in that state. People need to know, if we're going to curb illegal mining, what is the true picture of the solid minerals in Taraba State, and how, then we can begin conversations around attracting investors, mining and the likes. Do you have an idea in terms of the data on your solid minerals?
Well, there are documented data on that, on the types of mineral resources, the places, the locations where they are, and so on. That is not all for now. What we are going to do to ensure that we have all the data in place and to attract all those miners is what we have started doing. First, we have to sanitize the environment to keep the whether illegal or legal activities on hold. Then we liaise with interested parties, those that are already mining in those areas, to tell us how they want to go about it, and then the locations where they've been assigned to do that. Then we'll start from there. But because now there are some places you see people mining, but you don't know the quantity or the quality of those mineral resources. So we are going to employ services of specialists in that field to be able to tell us what is where and the quantity of what is where. Then we'll now open up to the investors. We have this in so place. Come and invest. So I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm putting up a team in place of specialists, people that are into the field, to sit down with us and then to advise us on the next step. But what we are doing right now is to make sure that we reduce the influx of unwanted persons, to reduce the environmental hazard that the activities will cause for us in the near future, and then reorganize that particular sector. Then we can now know what and what is where. Then who is to do what. That is where we are now. So okay. I think with time we're going to get it done.
So I have a couple of questions on insecurity. There are plenty of questions. Number one will be, I know Taraba used to have a problem with the Cameroonian rebels that used to come through the boat. Has that been sorted? Secondly, there are cases of kidnapping around Federal University, Wukari, Axis, and Jota. That's another one. There are also cases of crisis around Kuteb, Tati, Yantu areas. Some farmers currently displaced. What's your take on all of those issues? First, the Cameroonian rebels. Have you found
those areas? Most times some of these things, the trading or business people get involved with, cross-border business activities, because there are no very strong border patrols. There's not very strong security within some of these borders. So people use all kinds of, because of the size of the land and the stretch of the border between Taraba and Cameroon, people can come in from different kinds of areas to enter into some part of Taraba and then cause some of this problem. But I'm discussing with the security agencies on how those are saddled with the responsibility of such international borders to see how we can support them to effectively monitor, patrol, and ensure that such crises or such kind of attacks are reduced. But for now, with the removal of subsidy, most of these illegal transactions on petroleum products are not active anymore. So some of these things have reduced in those areas. For the area of the Kuteb tribe in that region, we are studying and looking at the permanent solution to the crisis in that area. What usually happens is just maybe the pastorals or the cattle rearers, crossing from one location to another. And, most times because of hunger, somebody can attack somebody's cattle, kill them, and then there'll be revenge. There is that. But a team is in place. They are talking to themselves to see how they will streamline their business to ensure there are no clashes. So we are getting that report from them on a weekly basis, and we're sure within a very short time we're going to intervene in that area. On the issue of kidnapping and so on, you know that most of this thing is poverty, and you've rated us, or they've rated Taraba as one of the poorest in the index. So poverty can lead people to do all kinds of things, and the way people manage their lives also attracts some of these things. People monitor people to see who has money, who has gotten this, who has gotten that, and then they plan to carry out such evil. But we are meeting, the security people are doing their best. We are strengthening our internal security mechanisms, like using the vigilantes, the tribal marshals, and so on. And also, security is everybody's responsibility. So if the people are communicating, are giving information on such activities, we can easily control that. But that area you're talking about where kidnapping is happening is predominantly areas where students are. So some of these activities are seen in that area because most of the youths are jobless. They don't have anything doing. So we're trying to see how we can harvest them from such thing and engage them in positive things so that we'll keep them away from crime. Then for the kidnapping issue in Federal University area you're talking about, there's a border between Ukari and Benue. So there are some particular syndicates that have been identified, and I think we are working on that to see how we can get them. So the security agents are working seriously to track them, and once they are gotten, I think that problem will be solved in that area.
Well, Governor Kefas, we would like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show. Thank you very much indeed.